Everybody know my son King. He's a passionate young man.
And, very passionate.
Yeah, and he has some tumultuous times. Stop hitting me and getting in my comments, telling me what to tell King, okay? I know my son.
Let's talk about the mess behind the Harris family's closed doors. Cause this ain't no typical father-son drama. We talking about a full-blown fallout between T.I. and his own son, King Harris. And it's been boiling over in the public eye like a pot left on high. For months now, fans been speculating that T.I. low-key don't even claim King anymore. And the whispers ain't just from haters. They coming from inside the industry. It all kicked off with King's reckless behavior online and in public. But what's really got people talking is the idea that T.I. may have distanced himself on purpose, not just as a parent, but to protect his brand. Let's be real, T.I. spent decades building an image. Rubber band man, hustlepreneur, activist, podcaster. He moved from trap to TED Talk. But King's been out here running wild like he trying to undo every ounce of polish his daddy ever put on the Harris name. From brawling in Waffle Houses to acting out at Falcons games, King been on a reckless spree. But the thing that really blew the internet up was them leaked pics and clips that started floating around. Some were questionable, some straight up suspicious, and some, well, let's just say people started speculating on his identity in ways that had Twitter in flames. Then came the curveball. King announced that he was going to be a father, but instead of congrats, the internet started digging. Real fast, rumors popped up claiming that King might not even be the biological father, and wild accusations started circulating. Some even saying T.I. ain't King's real dad either. Now that's something nobody expected. Old blogs and YouTube deep dives started popping up, piecing together timelines from T.I. and Tiny's reality show, suggesting King was mostly raised by his grandma, not even living with T.I. and Tiny full time. Folks started saying the whole family life we saw on TV was staged, and that King was growing up feeling like the black sheep.
And another thing, I'm a free man. Stop, goddamn, I'm not locked up. I'm straight. I was, but I'm back. I'm straight.
And if you think that's wild, wait till you hear about Big Nana. That's King's girlfriend, who many believe is way older than him and might have been around way before he was grown. People ain't just hating on her age, though. It's the way she inserted herself into the narrative. After the rumors about King's orientation started taking off, folks accused her of being a cover, like her whole relationship with King was built to shut down the noise. King started posting videos cuddled up with her, kissing on camera, making it real clear what side of the fence he's on. But for a lot of fans, it felt forced, like he was trying too hard to prove something. And you already know, when you do too much to shut rumors down, it only makes them louder. Meanwhile, Tiny and Zonique, King's sister, were on cleanup duty. Tiny started posting old family photos, cute throwbacks, trying to show the world that King's still part of the family, still loved, still protected. Zonique was tweeting about how people should mind their business, saying King's just misunderstood. But Ty, silent, cold silent. The same man who will debate politics for 2 hours on his podcast didn't say a word about his own son's scandal. And that silence, it spoke volumes. People started saying he was embarrassed, that he's letting King burn out without throwing him a lifeline. And you can't ignore the Kodak Black factor. Back in 2019, Kodak made some messy, borderline homophobic comments about T.I.'s kids. At the time, folks dragged him for it, saying it was out of line. But now, in 2025, people are revisiting those clips like they hold weight. Was Kodak telling on something he heard in the background? Was he speaking on secrets only industry folks knew? Nobody knows for sure, but the fact that people are even reconsidering what Kodak said tells you just how deep this whole situation runs. It ain't just family drama no more. It's a public unraveling of a carefully built image.
Yeah, man, it's a lot about that TV show, man, that got people confused. Because I live with my grandma. You know, we'll go to the house on like the weekend.
And the real tragedy? King seems like he's spiraling. He's posting like he got something to prove, throwing up middle fingers at the world, acting out every chance he gets. It's like he's screaming for attention, but the only person he wants it from, his dad, ain't answering. And no matter how many chains he wears or how many IG lives he jumps on, you can see the pain in his eyes. That I'm good bravado, it don't hide the fact that his whole world been flipped. By the time the King and Big Nana drama started trending, folks weren't just laughing, they were taking notes. The public started dissecting every old clip, every reality show episode, every interview T.I. ever gave about fatherhood. And you know what? The image started cracking. Ty always pushed that family values message. He loved calling himself the Black Bill Cosby, strutting around like he was the ultimate role model. But when it came time to publicly stand by his son, silence, crickets, not a single, "That's my boy," or "I got his back." Just like that, the king of the South looked like the king of distant dads. Now don't get it twisted. People ain't expect T.I. to co-sign every wild thing King does. But when your son's getting dragged by the whole internet, clowned on blogs, accused of all kinds of stuff, and you don't even flinch, that looks cold. People started asking, where's the loyalty? And that's when some older heads started speaking up. Industry insiders started hinting that this ain't new, that T.I. been putting distance between himself and King for years. Not physically, but emotionally. Always trying to clean up the public image, but not dealing with the real life mess behind it.
Is it me? But should have King did a DNA test from the jump? As soon as that baby dropped, they should have got a DNA test. Or you can still do a DNA test while the baby is still in the womb.
It got deeper when people started talking about how King was raised. Most fans thought he grew up in the mansion with T.I. and Tiny, living that reality TV dream life. But folks close to the family been saying King was really raised by his grandma for most of his life. That all those scenes with the full family on camera, that was for show. King wasn't growing up in the castle, he was watching it from a distance. And when a kid sees the world think he's living lavish, but behind closed doors he feels left out, that creates a different kind of anger. So when King hit his teen years and started acting out, was it really rebellion or was it pain? Think about it. He's the rapper's son who got the money, the jewelry, the followers, but none of the structure. T.I. is too busy hustling and podcasting. Tiny's got her own empire to run, and King, he's out here learning how to be a man from Instagram comments and clout-chasing friends. That's a recipe for destruction. And when you add fame on top of that, now you got a walking PR disaster with daddy issues. Let's not forget King's string of real-world antics. It ain't just rumors and blog talk. This man been in the news for fights, threats, weapons, and viral meltdowns. Like that one time at the Falcons game, dude got into it with stadium security and his own pops. T.I. tried to calm him down, but King kept barking like he was the one running the show. It ended with King storming off, yelling about how he ain't been raised in no mansion. That one clip said more than any interview ever could. It was raw, real, and messy. And it proved what a lot of folks already guessed. King feel like he never fit in. Then you got the legal mess. King's been cuffed more than once, caught flashing weapons online, beefing with everybody from classmates to club owners. He acting like he living out a mixtape that ain't even dropped yet. And T.I., he keeps falling back. Maybe it's strategy, maybe it's shame, or maybe, like some folks say, he's protecting his brand, not his blood. That's a heavy accusation, but it's floating around heavy, especially when you look at how hard T.I. rides for his name. He'll fight bloggers, go to war over politics, sue folks who misuse his lyrics. But when it's his own son acting out, he fades into the shadows. Even Tiny, who always played peacemaker, can't keep up anymore. She tried posting cute pics, throwback reels, even birthday shout-outs, but it ain't hitting the same. People are asking why she's playing PR instead of addressing what's clearly a family in chaos. And King, he's not helping his case. Every time he posts, it's another red flag. More chaos, more confusion, like he's stuck in a cycle of trying to prove he's grown, but only proving he's lost. And behind all this, the internet keep bringing up that old Kodak clip. Back in 2019, Kodak said something about TIvsSons that was nasty, real disrespectful. At the time, T.I. barked back hard. He made it seem like Kodak was just stirring drama. But now that some of those accusations seem to match what's unfolding, people wonder if Kodak was speaking on something he heard behind the scenes. Whether it was true or not, the fact that it's resurfacing tells you one thing: this whole situation been brewing for years, and now it's finally boiling over for everybody to see. Now here's where things start spiraling out of control, not just for King, but for the whole Harris legacy. When King's behavior went viral for the third, fourth, fifth time, the internet didn't react with shock, it reacted with jokes. Dude became a meme. Headlines read like parody: T.I.'s son punches fan outside mall. King Harris threatens to crash out again. The name King Harris turned into code for clout chasing chaos, and folks stopped seeing him as a troubled young man. They saw him as entertainment. But behind the memes was a real story, one about a kid growing up with a spotlight on his face and no real safety net. See, the wild thing is, King ain't dumb. When you listen close, you can hear he's smart, sharp even. But he been using that energy in all the wrong ways. Instead of learning how to lead, he trying to go viral. Instead of building something, he crashing out trying to prove he's real. And that comes from something deeper than just clout addiction. That comes from growing up in a house full of cameras where every move is a scene and every mistake is monetized. That reality show childhood don't raise real men, it raises actors. And King, he done blurred the line so bad, he don't even know if he's acting anymore. And the more people clown him, the more reckless he gets. Like that one time he got on IG Live yelling about how he ain't never been scared of nobody, threatening dudes by name, flashing cash and showing off guns. He sounded like he was trying to convince himself more than anyone else. It wasn't confidence. It was a cry for help wrapped in bravado, and still, T.I. stayed silent. Not even a stay off the internet post, just silence. You got industry folks who used to ride for T.I. now whispering behind the scenes like, yo, he really letting this kid drown. Even radio personalities who used to be tight with the Harris camp are starting to call it what it is, a public failure. Because for all of T.I.'s talk about fatherhood, discipline, and legacy, the reality don't match. You can't be out here preaching about kings and queens while your own son out here wilding like he got no direction. And people see the hypocrisy. Then there's the whole image war going on. King still posting like he the boss, chains, parties, flexes. He call himself royalty, saying he's the next generation of greatness. But the comments ain't buying it. Folks hitting him with, where your album at? Or, you T.I.'s son, not T.I. That one hit deep. Cause even if King act like he don't care, you can tell he's tired of being in his dad's shadow. But instead of stepping out with talent, he's stepping out with drama. And that ain't the move. And all while this is happening, you got T.I. acting like he's above it all, giving interviews about politics, education, and the black community, but never speaking on the biggest controversy in his own household. And fans starting to notice. They're like, yo Tip, how you got time to beef with Charleston White but can't check your own son? Real talk, that's a fair question. Cause if you quick to check a stranger for dissing your name, you should be even quicker to protect your own blood. Now some say T.I.'s just letting King learn the hard way, that he's done trying to discipline a grown man. Cool, but here's the problem. King ain't moving like a grown man. He's moving like a kid trying to fill shoes that don't fit, wearing pressure like jewelry and hoping people respect the shine. But respect don't come from your last name. It comes from how you move. And right now, King moving like he's still searching for who he is, while the world already made up its mind. Meanwhile, the rumors still swirl. People still questioning the paternity drama, still digging into old family footage, still throwing out wild theories about T.I.'s other kids and whether this whole situation been rocky for years. And with every day T.I. don't speak, the narrative keeps slipping out of his hands. It's not even about defending King anymore. It's about whether the family man image can survive this storm. And if it don't, that's not just a hit to T.I.'s brand. It's a crack in the empire he spent years building. Because let's be real, King ain't the only one with something to prove. Ty been fighting for legitimacy his whole career. From jail time to political aspirations, he's always trying to show he's bigger than his past. But now, his own son is threatening to undo all that work. Not with music, not with activism, but with viral clips, mugshots, and live stream rants. And if T.I. don't step in soon, the world's gonna assume he already gave up. Now we at that point where the world's asking, is this a full disownment or just damage control gone too far? Because what T.I. is doing now don't feel like tough love. It feel like he's watching from the sidelines, letting the internet raise his son while he protects the legacy he built without letting King destroy it. And whether that's intentional or not, it's cold. This ain't just a rap beef or family feud. It's a generational collapse happening in the public eye. What started as a little Waffle House fight and a few online rants has now become a blueprint for how fast things fall apart when clout outweighs care. And what about King? Look at his IG lately. He ain't posting growth, no music drops, no wins. It's all shade, cryptic captions, flexing like nothing's wrong, but the eyes tell you everything. Behind all that loud energy is a young dude looking for validation from people who only show up to clown him. He's trying to prove he's solid, but it's clear he's standing on shaky ground. He went from being a prince of ATL rap royalty to a cautionary tale in the making. And it's not just the blog saying this. Even fans who grew up watching the Harris family on TV are starting to say it's sad to watch. There's also talk about people around T.I. saying he's had enough, that he's tired of cleaning up King's messes behind the scenes. Word is the reason he hasn't disowned King publicly is because of Tiny. She's trying to hold the family together, playing the mediator, posting birthday messages and sweet captions while the house feels like it's burning from the inside out. And if that's true, it adds another layer to this mess. A man trying to protect his empire and a woman trying to keep her son from crashing out. And we gotta talk about the silence from King's siblings too. Ain't nobody from the family really riding with him publicly besides Tiny and Zonique. Damani, T.I.'s other son who's respected for his music, been real quiet. And when he does speak, it's all maturity and business. No drama, no mess. That contrast is loud. It shows what King could have done had he followed a different route. But instead he went down the I'm famous for being T.I.'s son path, not the I'm earning my spot path. And now it's backfiring hard. The problem with growing up famous is the fall is always public. When regular kids mess up, they get grounded or kicked out the house. When celebrity kids mess up, they trend worldwide and become hashtags. And King, he's been viral for all the wrong reasons so many times it's like people expect him to crash. That's dangerous. Because when the world expects you to fail, it gets easy to start fulfilling that prophecy. The bar gets lower, the sympathy dries up, and you start acting like the villain they already see you as. T.I. once said he wants to leave a legacy bigger than music, said he wants his name to stand for more than rap, something rooted in family, culture, leadership. But legacies ain't just what you build, they're also what you protect. And if your own household falling apart on camera and you stay quiet, the people gonna write your legacy for you. They gonna say, he was smart, he was talented, he had vision, but he couldn't keep his own house in order. And once that narrative sets in, it's hard to shake. Now imagine if T.I. flipped the script. If he actually stepped in, sat down with King on camera, addressed the rumors, the pain, the silence, no filters, no PR, just real father-son talk, that would change the game. It'd show that men can correct their kids with love and still hold them accountable. That even the most powerful black fathers don't gotta act like discipline is disconnection. But until that happens, until T.I. stops acting like this ain't his problem, it's gonna keep spiraling. And King, if he don't change course soon, he gonna be remembered for what he could have been, not what he became. He still got time. He got the name, the access, the platform, but that only means something if you use it right. If not, you end up in a cycle of arrests, IG lives, and missed opportunities, while your pop sits back, protecting his image while your rep gets shredded. And that's a tragedy no press release can fix. So this ain't just about King Harris wilding out. It's about how fame, family, and fatherhood collide when nobody wanna say the truth out loud. Ty built a brand around being a real one, but now the world watching how real he is when his son need him the most. And if he don't show up soon, he might lose more than his image. He might lose his son entirely.